getting some minutes here. Do you feel like you're getting more comfortable at the NBA level?
Definitely. I think in any situation, just the more reps you get, whether it be practice, game, you get more comfortable. So I definitely am getting more comfortable, with every game, that I go out there. But yeah, I would definitely say I'm comfortable for sure.
Mike was saying yesterday at practice that the defensive intensity needs to be better, the consistency, the physicality. What's practice been like the last couple of days with that focus on defense?
Obviously, like we know we dropped the ball at the last couple of games. So really just trying to get back in that win column, and we all know that it starts with our defensive and offensively we have guys that can score. So it's all about our defensive effort with the physicality and the wanting to play defense. So definitely have been working on that.
Do you have a certain mentality when you do get these opportunities, whether it's like more offensive or more defensive minded, especially knowing that Mike Brown and where his mind is at?
Honestly, my mindset going into every game is always the same. Can't make it bigger than what it is. Just go out there, try to help the team win, put us in the right spots, be in the right spots. Obviously, help us on the defensive end. That's one of the things that I bring. So just go out there and try to be me and play hard. And I think that will translate to all the right things. So that's definitely my mindset going in. Not trying to go out there and wonder, okay, how many threes am I going to hit, or stuff like that.
So, for the most part, you've been with the team since the season started. You haven't, I'm not trying to send you back down. You haven't been with the Stockton Kings
right
for quite some time. So you've been here basically every day, every practice.
Right.
Yeah, so they give you, as Morgan said, they give you more opportunity too because you get to spend more time with them. Is that correct?
You said that gives me more opportunity?
Well, yeah. I mean, involved with all the basketball activities up here.
The situation changes day to day, but I mean, like you said, I have been here for the most of my time. I think I practiced with the G League team one time, but yeah, I have been up the most, just about all the time. So I think getting the practices in with these guys has definitely made things easier for me in the game. So yeah, I think being up here is definitely helpful.
Defensively, some of the things that we've noticed in some of the losses have been just like attention to detail, whether it's a missed closeout or rotation. Does that more have to do with fatigue or focus? What is that?
It probably could be a little bit of fatigue as well. I mean, guys are trying hard because you have to score to win. So guys are probably trying hard on the offensive end, and a little fatigue sets in, and makes a coward of us all. So probably on the defensive end, you just kind of relax a little bit maybe, and give up a couple of possessions. So that could be a potential reason why we're getting scored on or whatever the case is. But I think our attention to detail probably has to be better as well. Knowing what guys do and what we're trying to limit from certain guys, and all be on the same page as a team.
You think it's going to be kind of hard to reset for a regular season game instead of this in-season tournament with the heightened atmosphere and pressure and expectations?
I don't think so. I think, with the in-season tournament, we kind of knew, like, it's kind of like a playoff field essentially. Like, I mean, you're trying to play good to put yourself in a good situation. And obviously, the in-season tournament is quicker than the playoffs. So, I mean, we know that the playoffs is at the end of the year. So, obviously, these games count towards that as well. So, definitely can't take these games any lighter than an in-season tournament game. So, I definitely don't think there'll be any, shift of focus.
When it comes to that attention to detail, like Coach mentioned, closeout specifically yesterday, like what do you feel like are the specifics that need to be cleaned up on those closeouts?
I mean, sometimes we'll close out to a guy who may not be labeled as like a high shooter, like he is one, and that'll hurt us on the defensive end. Then you have guys like Zion or whatever, just helping, guys like HB when he's guarding them. Obviously, he's a tough cover, so we all got to help and do our part with that. So, I mean, just little things like that, helping each other out. And I think, I'm back to the closeout thing, just stuff like that. Those are things that are going to help us on the defense.
Going back to playing on both ends of the floor, especially on the defense, because there has been some changes compared to last season.
Right.
Those things you kind of help you guys out. I mean, I know it's a learning curve and stuff like that, but in the long run, you guys expect these, this type of playing, physicality, playing at a fast pace, is going to help you out in the long run, right?
I definitely do. I mean, I think in the playoffs, everything's slowed down a little bit. Both teams know each other's plays. You study them all week, you go through them. So I think with the physicality, you bump them off their route, not letting them get to their spots. Knowing what's coming, I do think that's important come that time. So I do think that'll be important for us in the long run.
Let's go.
Thanks, Jan.
Appreciate it.
Oh.
Of the regular season, what kind of difficulties does that present, having to get back to that versus the heightened emotions and atmosphere of the in-season tournament?
I'll talk about the last game because it was a knockout game and it was one and done, so that was the different thing. Other than that, the group stage was almost the same because you have games and it's just you count point differential and everything. It's a little bit different, but the games are the same. You prepare yourself the same. Just the last game was pity because we lost that way we didn't won, and unfortunately we're not in Vegas and we're here.
Taking on the Suns down in Phoenix, what kind of challenges do they present for y'all?
Yeah, they have really talented players, two of the best players in the league, and of course for them it's a little bit hard too because they didn't qualify for the Final Four. So playing immediately after tough loss, you have to change your mentality and mind immediately. And we prepare ourselves to have 2 good practices. We're going to take this win.
Coach mentioned you guys haven't been, very good defensively these last 3 games. What have you seen in that aspect?
The numbers are talking. We received I think 125 something points. So it's tough to win when you receive so many points. So we need to go back on track to play more physical and to improve in the things we're not doing well.
You were pretty much seeing some baby steps with you as far as playing defense. Could you expand on that? Learning the NBA game as a defensive man.
Yeah, I'm trying to play defense. I'm not terrible, so
No.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to learn the players and learn the speed of the league and the habits of every player. So that's the most important thing. And the defense is team defense. It's individual, but also on team defense. Everyone has to help the other guy and all these things. And the last 3 games, we don't do the simple and the basic stuff. So we have to go back on track.
Do you feel like that defensive physicality leaks over into the offense at all? When you're physical on defense, do you feel it on the offensive end?
You have to play both ends of the floor, so nobody's just playing offense or just playing defense. So you have to prepare yourself, and that's through the practice. So to be ready to play on both ends.
Has Fox exceeded your expectations to 19, 20 games here?
Like who?
Has De'Aaron Fox, has he exceeded maybe the expectations?
He's playing amazing. He was 2 times Western Conference Player of the league, and he's playing amazing. Him, Thomas, they're all stars. So we know what they can bring every night. So we have to help them, and they help us, and we're a team. So we're going all together.
What's most impressive from him?
I said it 2 or 3 months ago that his work ethic and how much he's working, and every day he's here, even on off days. And that's the way in order to be great.
With the adjustments that you've been making defensively, it seems like that's been part of the reason why you've been getting more opportunities. What are those adjustments that you've been seeing in your defensive game?
Like I said, you have to know what the other player want to do, and from the scouting report, and a little bit the space of the floor, and how the offenses are built up from the other teams, and of course to be everything you have to work early and be mentally ready first, and then physically. So I'm trying my best, and I think every game is better and better.
Obviously, there's a lot of off-court adjustment for you coming over here. Just how are you settling in?
It's good. My girlfriend came for a while. My friends are here. My family will come again. They're trying to help me. It's difficult, because the time difference and all my family and friends are back. But I'm happy because we have the facility whenever we want. We're working hard. Everything is super cool here. I'm happy.
I want to ask about your shot. Have you always had that quick of a release?
Yeah, like I'm trying to, because always like the defense is like, because I was a shooter first, so the defense is trying to take this away from me. So I have to find ways to shoot it fast and shoot it. And when I'm practicing, I'm trying to do this the game type shots. So not just spot ups, not just slow shots, but games that I'll find in the game.
So you're always trying to get that out as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Time.
Sometimes even if I'm more open, I'm trying this, which is wrong because I have a little bit more time. But you know, I'm trying to fix some things.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thanks, Sasha.
Sure, the emotions, especially that quarterfinal game against the Pelicans, is it going to be hard to get everybody to reset for just a run-of-the-mill regular season game on Friday?
I don't think so. I don't know. You lose 2 in a row, you lose 3 in a row, and you get down. Sometimes you lose games that you think you probably should have won. You get down, and you just gotta keep moving forward. The season's a long season. You should never get too high or too low throughout the course of the season because it's so long. So I think our guys are competitive and they want to play the right way and all that other stuff. So I think that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go in and kick Phoenix's ass or get a win, but I think the guys are ready to get going with the season.
The fact that you are playing a Suns roster that's just loaded with talent, does that make it a little easier to get their attention?
Maybe. I've never really looked at it that way. I feel like our guys have been pretty good at just realizing, hey, we got to come to play because this is the next one, and not necessarily looking at their record or anything like that. So hopefully we'll be locked in and ready to come out and play. Yeah.
What's your messaging for the team right now?
This is the same. It's we want to play fast, we want to play physical, we want to play together in the right way. So our messaging is not the same. We're not going to change it just because we lost this last game. We're going to stay the course. The season's a long season, and we feel like we can be great with what we have and what we're preaching.
It's not often you get a break like this in the middle of the season. How beneficial was this week to just be on the practice floor, maybe let guys heal up a little bit too?
It's good. I guess I don't really look at it as a break.
From playing games, I guess.
What is today's Thursday? We played Monday, Friday. I guess I never really looked at it. It's hard for me to answer the question just because I never really looked at it as a break. Because we came into practice yesterday, we came in practice today. I'm a fan of practice now. I love to practice. I know guys don't. I wouldn't if I was a player. But it's always good to have multiple practices, in my opinion, while trying to get some rest.
Was today, focus-wise, similar to yesterday, kind of a building off of yesterday with that defensive focus?
We played a few 2-minute games, a couple of 2-minute games today to put guys in situations where, obviously it's the last 2 minutes of the game and kind of manufacturing who's up, who's down. We did some transition stuff. And then every day we try to focus on the details of what we think is going to help us be better as a unit defensively. So, every day we hopefully build, but, I've said this before, sometimes you're going to take 5, 6, 7 steps forward, and you may take 1 or 2 steps backwards, and hopefully it's just a 1 or 2, and it's not 3, 4, 5, 6, at a time, which can happen. And when it does, that's part of what a season's about. In my opinion, teams that can handle that are the ones that are going to do well in the playoffs because they faced adversity head on a couple of times throughout the course of the year. They figured it out together, and they move forward the right way together. So hopefully we don't take too many steps backwards.
With the focus on defense the last couple of days, what adjustments are you having to make at practice when it comes to, the missed closeouts, small box outs? Is it mostly film oriented, or is it more you're doing it out here too?
No, it's a combination of both. Now, we showed them film and showed them the areas that we felt we had or our controllables, stuff that we had control over, and where we didn't. And then you just stress it out here, small details that you stress throughout the course of the year. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we didn't just have a defensive practice. It was still both. But we have to be better defensively. The last 3 games, I showed our guys. I mean, even the Nuggets win. You throw the Nuggets win in there. In the last 3 games, we're giving up 125 points a game on 54% from the field, and and the defensive rate is not good. And so all those things, if you were to take those 3 games and quantify with the current rankings for the year, we'd be dead last, I think, in all these categories except for one. And we can't do that. We have to be better than that. And we had gotten as high as 13th at one point. And I know it's a small sample size, but it's a small sample size both ways. You can only go with what you have. So we have to be better. And I'm one to try to address anything that I think can help us going forward. And right now, even including the win against the Nuggets, our defense hasn't been good.
Do you think your defensive shot profile has been okay? Like, it seems like you guys are not giving up too many corner threes or at the rim looks, but they're still going down at a good rate.
Yeah, and that means that our closeouts have to be better, and we're trying to find the fine line of getting guys off the line and still trying to stay in front. The one thing that we can't do and we have a habit of doing is closing short. Like, if you're a hot shooter, especially at our size, if I stop here and let you shoot the ball and then I contest, well, if you're Trey Murphy at 6'10", which there are a lot of guys that are 6'10", he's probably gonna shoot through you. It's normal logic. The smaller guy stopping short and trying to contest a great 3-point shooter, you got to get to their body. And now when you get to their body, you got to figure out how to get to their body, but not let them blow by you to where now we got to collapse and they can kick again. And if they do kick again, we just got to keep scrambling. Now all bets are off. You got to talk, you got to communicate, you got to fly around, contest, and try to limit them to one shot. And so trying to emphasize that has been something that we've done all year, but we put a little bit more emphasis on it the last couple of days.
So you're not a fan of those flyby, like, jumping contests?
No, that's a great point. Now, if the distance is such that I can't get to your body, then jump in the air. Does that make sense? If the distance is such that I can get to your body, there's no reason for me to jump in the air. I just need to get completely to your body to where my chest is basically touching your arm. Not here, because if you go here, what's going to happen? You just go up as a foul. So my chest, but it has to be here on the closeout. And we have a habit of going here and then jumping. And if you watch our guys go here and then jump, that's not a great contest versus guys like Steph and Kevin Durant and Book and Austin Reed, great 3-point shooters. You can't do that, not at our level. So we have to do a better job of closing to guys' chests while trying not to let them drive by us. And one more time, and like I said, you jump in the air. If I'm so far and I can't get to your chest, now I'm jumping in the air and hopefully landing in front of you and still being able to cut you off.
What player on your team would be a good example of that? I'm just saying, I see Keegan.
No, just watch the game. You try to get me to call my guys out. No. You tell me.
I see Keegan doing it a lot. She's an example to me. That same example, getting his chest up in there, then moving back.
Now and I'm not saying Keegan doesn't do it, but there's different. One of the things.
No, I'm saying he does it. He does it.
So I'm going to explain to you. Keegan does a nice job of guarding the ball like that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Davion does a nice job of guarding the ball like that. I'm talking on a closeout. There's a difference between already guarding the ball, putting your chest on him, and being in a help position. Now the ball gets kicked or swung, and now I got to go close out to a guy's chest. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Keegan's not doing it right, but that's what you have to look for is a closeout situation. How do guys close out? Do guys close out here? And versus a hot shooter, if I coach Ben Wallace and he may come looking for me. Ben, I really love you. Please don't come looking for me because you could probably beat me up. But if I'm guarding Ben Wallace and I'm in a help position and Ben Wallace is at the 3-point line, the ball gets swung to him, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let you shoot it, and then I'm going to contest after you shoot it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But a guy like Reggie Miller, okay, his name's been passed. Boom, I'm in a help position. I'm getting I got to have body-to-body contact with you when I close out. And, there are different ways you could teach it technique-wise, and you have to do it what's comfortable. The one thing I don't want to do, if we can help it, is, like I said, there's two things. The first one is if you're Reggie Miller, is stop here, let you shoot it, now I contest. Reggie's making that 9 out of 10 times. Or if you're Reggie Miller, I'm here, and I can get to your body, but I just jump in the air way past you, and I stop, and I see you take a side dribble and shoot it. That's not good neither. So now you have to find a fine line in between. So I got to, back when you're in elementary school, everybody teaches you the chop, 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 chop on the closeout. You can't chop, chop, chop in this league versus hot shooters. You got to run all the way to their chest, get to their chest, and show your hands, get to their body with your chest while showing your hands. And now as they're going up, you may raise up at the same time with them. That makes sense? Okay.
So how big of a deal is it then having these guys, your guys, making sure that they're doing their homework, understanding personnel the right way, even when there's only a certain amount of games or a certain amount of time in between? Is that on them, or are there certain coaches that are also like tutoring that in between games as well? Like, you got to know that you got to chop your feet on this guy, or you got to know you got to run through on this guy. Like, who is that on the player, or is that on the coaches helping?
No, it's on both. It's on everybody. And we drill it. We watch film on it as a team. Yeah. We drill it as a team. We also show individual film on it to our guys. You see our guys a lot of times before a game sitting with one coach watching film. And now not all the clips are on that, but maybe one may be on it. And then on top of that, we also show individual edits, and we list who's hot during shoot around. And then we send the players individual edits on everybody we're playing. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just a scout report here, figure it out. No, there's individual tape that we watch on the players as a group. There's individual tape that's sent to the guys on an app that they can pull up any time of the day, 6, 20, 50 times a day if they want to. Sorry about that. But it's pretty in-depth with what we try to go through in order to help the guys out. But at the end of the day, some of it is on them to take advantage of it, because the reality of it is some guys don't like to watch film, on their own. So.
Can you see who's logging into the app?
Can
you see who's logging into the app?
Yeah, we can. And I'm not going to tell you who is.
I wasn't even going to ask. I wasn't even going to ask.
Just a real quick. How much time do y'all spend watching film per day, or does it just vary?
In terms of me compared to Jordy or like,
no, I'm just talking about
varies.
the team.
No. So, like I said, we after a game we'll watch anywhere from 8 to 15 offensive clips and 8 to 15 defensive clips after a game as a team, and then game day we'll watch what may amount to 20 to 25 individual clips. So like, one of our coaches would have already gone through it, and we'll start with the point guard. We may show 3 clips on the opposing point guard, 3 clips on the starting 2 guard, 3 clips on the starting 3, and then, as the backups, we may show 1 or 2 clips, whatever their strengths are. We'll show 8 to 12 defense, their offensive clips. Does that make sense? We'll also show 8 to 12 things that we think that we could take advantage of them on the offensive end, our offensive end of the floor. Then we'll also do the same thing before the game, but not show the individual player edits to the guys before the game. And then even before the game, our coaches will sit down individually with the players and show them tape. So and then they have all this they can access on the app. So there's plenty of film that they can watch. We try not to show, like I said, more than 15 offensive clips and 15 defensive clips per film session, because that can get pretty lengthy, and you don't want to do that. if you can
It's
help
an
it.
opportunity. Was here. But
Yeah,
thank
if you
Put on
can
a
help
clinic today, man. What would we pay you? Like, what's the?
Yeah, that's why I brought Ron, because I figured y'all was gonna ask me some crazy ass questions. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
I like that.